All right, so we're going to look at some sales tax, discounts, markups, all that good stuff. So, discounts is money taken off a price. Okay, so we can find the discount amount and then we can find the final price. So, because some of these are going to ask for them separate, I will do them separate, but there is a way we can do it all in one step right here. The original price times 1 minus the percent discount as a decimal. So the original price is $75.80 and we have a discount of 25%. So it says calculate the discount and then the sales price. So we're going to find 25% of this. So 25% of this, so 0.025 times the 75.80 is $18.95. So that's how much we're taking off. So the sales price is going to be the 75.80 minus that $18.95 discount, which is going to give $56.85. We're going to do a 30% discount. So 30% as a usable decimal is 0.30. I'm going to multiply it by 168.90. And I get $50.67. So then the sales price is 168.90 minus 50.67, which is gonna give 118.23. Now we could do it all at once. I'll show you that formula that I marked off here. I'll do that second one. So the original price is the 168.90, and then 1 minus that percent discount, so that 30%, which really is going to give me that 168.90 times how much I'm keeping. So if I'm losing 30%, I'm keeping 70%. That's going to give that same amount here. Just does it all in one nice step. All right, determine the percent discount given the sale price and the original price. All right. So I'm trying to think of an efficient way to do this. Because the way I think about it is if we use that formula that the sales price is the original times 1 minus the discount, we would eventually be dividing both sides by the original amount anyway. So if we do the 900 over the 1200, this is going to give us a percent. So let me find that. So 900 divided by 1200 is 0.75, but this is the amount we keep. So I have to figure out the discount price. So that's this piece here. So if we are keeping 75, we're losing 25. So that's 1 minus 0.75. So that gives me the 0.25 or the 25%. So let's do another one. We've got an original price and a sales price. So $29.52 over $36.70 is going to give me a decimal. So $29.52 out of $36.70 gives me a decimal of approximately 0.80. But remember, this is what we're keeping. So I have to figure out what I lost. So 1 minus that 0.8 is going to give me 0.2, which is 20%. Right? What if we're given different information? So we know the percent discount, we know the sale price, and we want to know the original. So using that same idea, I'll give that original formula up here. That sale price was the original times 1 minus the discount. Well, this time we want to find the original. So we would have to divide both sides by that 1 minus the discount. Well, this 1 minus the discount we're doing is really the percent we're keeping. So if in this first example, the discount is 10%, so we're keeping 90%. So we can take the sales price of $4.50 and divide it by how much we're keeping as that usable decimal, so 0.90. And then this will give me $500. So, all right, the sales price is $90. The discount is $75, so we're keeping 25%. So as a usable decimal, that's 0.25. And 90 divided by 0.25 is 360. Let's look at some word problems here. A bed originally priced at $5.50 is on sale with a 60% discount. What's the discount on the bed and what's the sales price? So we'll split this one up. So we want to find 60% of the 550, which is 330. And then we'll subtract the two prices. So the original price minus the discount will give us the sales price. We're buying a new microwave. We got a 26% discount. The sales price was this. What was the original? So the original is the $43.66 divided by what we kept. So we lost 26, but we kept 74. So 0.74. So $59. And we'll go backwards a little bit. A markup is an increase in price. So instead of subtracting off, we will add. Okay? So we have, let's see, calculate the markup for the given cost and markup percentage, then calculate the retail price. So the cost is $62 and the markup is 15%. So 62, and then we'll multiply by that markup, so 0.15, and let's see what that gives us. So let's see, 62 times 0.15 is 9.3, and then we'll add the two together. So 62 plus 9.3 is 71.30. Adding that zero as a placeholder because it's money. All right, it costs $7.50 and the markup is 45%. So $7.50 times that markup price or percent. So $7.50 times 45% is $337.50. And then we'll add the two. So $7.50 plus $337.50 gives me $1,087.50. All right, what if we have different information? So we want to find the percent markup. So let's see. We're going to take the retail price, so $103.50, and divide it by the cost, so 90. And then we'll find the difference between that and 100. So 103.50 divided by 90 is 1.15. as a percent, so multiplying that by 100 is 115%. And then the difference between that and 100% is 15%. So do it again here. So 990 divided by 520 is going to give 1.90. If I turn that into a percent, that's 190%. And the difference between that and 100 is 90%. I determine the cost based on the percent markup and the retail price. So to find this, we are going to do the retail price. And we're going to divide it by that 1 plus the percentage. So in this case, the retail price is $10.62. And we're going to divide it by 1 plus the percentage. So the percentage is 20%. So as a decimal, that is 0.2. So we will do 1062 divided by 1.2. And that's going to give me 885. Alright, so we'll do it again for this one. So we have 2655 divided by 1 plus the percentage as a usable decimal. So that's 1.25. So I get 2655 divided by 2.25, and that gives me 1180. So sales tax. So this is also kind of like a markup, I would say, because it's a percent you're paying more on something. So it just depends on what the sales tax is. So it says the sales tax is 8.25%. Find the tax and the total price. So the purchase price is this. So I need to find the tax. So that's $428.99 times the tax as a usable decimal, so 0.0825. And that gives me $35.39 as the tax. And then I'm just going to add that to the price. So $428.99. Add these two together, and we get $464.38. So do the same thing on this one. Find the tax. So that's the price times the rate as that usable decimal to get 2.88, and then we'll add it to that 34.88 for a total of 37.76. All right, we're going to do it with some different information. So we have the purchase price and the total price. So we want to find the sales tax percentage. So let's find the difference between these two numbers to find what the sales tax was. So 354.21 minus 329.50 is going to give 24.71. So now to find that tax rate, we'll do the tax over the purchase price, and that's going to give us the tax rate as a decimal. So we're going to take the 24.71 over the purchase price, so 329.50, and that gives me 0.0749. But that's as a decimal. So as a percent, I can multiply by 100, and that gives me about 7, I can round that, 7.5%. So let's do it again for this one. So let's find the difference. So 1439 minus 1377. Let's give me 62 cents. So 62 cents out of the purchase price of 1377. It's gonna give me, let's see, if I divide that, I get 0.045, and then multiply that by 100, so 4.5%. All right, we have the sales tax rate this time and the total price. So we want to find the retail price. So we can find the purchase price by doing the total price over 1 plus that tax rate as a decimal. So in this case, our total price is the $36.56. 1 plus the tax rate. So the tax rate is $5.75. So as a usable decimal, that's 0.0575. So that's $36.56 divided by 1.0575, which gives $34.57. I'll do it again for this one. So it's the total price, the $97.17, over 1 plus the tax rate of 4.25 as a decimal, so 0.0425. So that gives me $97.17 divided by 1.0425, which then gives me $93.21. All right, we have some sales tax. The sales tax in Denver, Colorado is 8.81%. Kevin buys a TV in Denver, and the purchase price before taxes was $499. How much will he pay in sales tax, and what is going to be the price that he spends? So the tax is going to be the purchase price times the tax as a decimal, or usable decimal, so 0.0881. And if I multiply those two numbers, I get $43.96. And then we'll just add that to the $499 for a total of $542.96. I think that is all for this section. So if you have any questions, let me know.